and welcome to Discover Meditation. I'm your host, Alex Schubert, and this program we're going to be looking at meditation, mindfulness, and different ways you can incorporate it into your life at home. So, as we begin every program, we're going to start with a short breathing meditation. So, getting ready for this, sitting down or standing up, or on the floor or in a chair, whatever it is that works for you, whatever is going to be comfortable and sustainable. So we are going to start this meditation the way we start most meditations, which is by getting in that comfortable, sustainable position. The nice thing about mindful meditation is that there's a lot of different ways to position yourself. The key is being in a position that we can maintain for the length of the meditation, and that it allows us to take full, deep breaths. You're welcome to leave your eyes opened or closed. If you leave your eyes opened, find a place in front of you to gaze at, allowing your eyes to slightly unfocus. This is even easier if you wear glasses, since you can just take them off. As we begin, take a moment to adjust your position as needed. Maybe quickly stretch your arms or back. Getting in a position again that you can maintain throughout this short meditation. Now start with a nice deep breath, holding it for a few seconds and slowly letting it out. Repeat if needed, and then allow your breathing to normalize. There's no need to change your breathing, making it unnaturally deep or shallow. Instead, just allow it to happen, not forcing it in any way. Breathing is something that happens without effort, without thought. And just bringing your attention to your breath, finding a point where it's most noticeable. This might be where the breath enters your nose or mouth, or where it enters your lungs, making them rise and fall. Rising with the in-breath, and falling with the out. Or it may be as your abdomen rises and falls. It can sometimes help to place your hand on your abdomen to bring attention to that area. Just maintaining that attention, noticing what it feels like to breathe. A gentle rise and fall with each breath. Noticing the qualities of your breath. Is it cool or warm? Smooth or ragged? Just labeling. Not judging anything as good or bad, but instead just observing it as it is. If you are new at this, you might want to count your breath. Counting 1 as you breathe in and out. Continuing until you reach the number 10. When using the counting method, you may notice that your mind has wandered. And when that happens, just return the count to 1. There's no need to worry about getting to 10. The counting is just a way to focus your attention. And when thoughts arise, just noticing them, labeling them as thoughts, and bringing your attention back to your breath. This may occur many times throughout this meditation. That's okay. Thoughts during meditation are normal. There's no need to judge this as good or bad. It's just what the mind does. Some find it helpful to picture their thoughts tied to a balloon and floating away, or floating down a gentle stream. Whatever method you use, just notice the thoughts and gently bring your attention back to your breath. Noticing the in-breath and the out-breath, rising and falling like ocean waves, in and out, staying in the present moment, allowing it to be as it is. There's nothing else you need to be doing in this moment other than being here, now. Being patient with yourself if you're experiencing difficulty. It's not easy to bring your mind into this moment. And just the act of being aware of your impatience or mind wandering is meditation. Always just bringing your attention back to your breath. Again, that was a simple breathing meditation. Breathing meditations are nice because we can do them anywhere and any time with very little preparation or props. It's just a matter of being with ourselves and taking the time to connect with our breath or our thoughts. It can be a nice way to just unwind after a long day or in between stressful phone calls or moments. However you use it, the important thing is to use it frequently. Much like any other thing, meditation is a practice. And it's called a practice because it's something that needs to be practiced. It's very rare that people will just try it once and all of a sudden it's this life-changing event and they do it every moment of their lives and it completely changes everything. But through practice, through taking this time to set aside to do this, you can notice changes, both large and small, throughout your life. And today we are going to be talking about one of those such changes. In fact, this is a focus of a lot of different mindfulness research. We're going to be focusing today on the body and the use of meditation and mindfulness practices with all sorts of physical things, such as chronic pain, illness. This is actually where the West first really started to connect with mindfulness. We're very practical in this part of the world, and we need a practical reason to be using something which many people saw as flaky Eastern stuff that beat poets were doing in California and Zen monks were doing in temples, but not so much for the everyday American that had to rush around and get things done, and time to sit with your breath doesn't quite fit in that. And so there were many researchers who were starting to look at, okay, are there practical reasons to use meditation, to use mindfulness? And one of those researchers, a medical doctor named Dr. John Kabat-Zinn from UMass Medical School, was one of those people who decided to see what you could do with mindfulness meditation. In fact, one of his famous early studies was with psoriasis patients. And they would have the psoriasis trial, and one of the common ways to treat psoriasis is to have somebody sit in a UV, some sort of, I'm envisioning like a telephone booth, one of those old telephone booths. And they would sit in there and get UV treatments, and that would help with clearing up the psoriasis. So one of the early studies took this idea and taught one of the groups how to do some general mindfulness breathing, nothing real fancy, not going off to long retreats or summering in a monastery, but just basic mindfulness treatment, focusing on the breath and awareness, and had them practice while they were doing these UV treatments. And of course, with any good science, there's a control group, and the control group continued their UV treatments as normal, so no mindfulness treatment at all. And remarkably, they found that those who practiced the mindfulness meditation, in addition to the UV treatments, found that their psoriasis cleared up quicker and more thoroughly than those who did not. Again, a very early study, but really revealing what has been known for a very long time through the rest of the world, that there's this very strong mind-body connection. There isn't this separate thing going on here, that our minds are not, or our brains are not, doing something else while our body is doing other things. That there's this connection here, that if we can train our minds, we can have an effect on our body. And of course, this is very obvious when you think about it, right? You have let's say a stressful day or a stressful week, and next thing you know, you've come down with a cold, with the flu. This isn't magic. This is pretty obvious. You have a bad day and all of a sudden your back hurts. Or all sorts of different things, right? People have things called ulcers, right? I'm sure many of you have struggled with ulcers yourselves, or gastritis, or all sorts of stomach issues. Again, very clear when you look at it that our minds and our bodies have a big effect on each other. And mindfulness in itself is just mind training. It is training our mind to be calmer, to be less stressed, to be, again, more aware. And so, again, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn built this program called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, MBSR for short, and has written several books. One of the ones that I'd like to recommend for those who are maybe new to the idea of MBSR or body-based mindfulness. Full Catastrophe Living was the first book he released. I believe it's in its 15th anniversary now. Or actually that book's a few years old, so 16th or 17th. Very popular book, and can be a good way to find some of the basic practices. He outlines breathing practices. And one of the things we're going to do today, a little later in this program, the body scan, which we will focus on our body through this practice. So definitely a recommended book if you're interested in finding out more from kind of the scientific, medical, and if you're somebody who likes good hard evidence, there's a lot of good evidence in that book. Dr. Kabat-Zinn is still out there, still doing research, and still teaching this stuff to many people. I was fortunate to go to a conference and spend some time with him at the, well, I'm forgetting the name of the conference, but it's sponsored by the Center for Mindfulness, and I won't come up with it at the moment, but if you Google Dr. Kabat-Zinn, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So we're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we're going to do this longer practice. So this break might be a good time to find a comfortable place to be seated, or for this practice, even laying down. So we will be right back after these messages.
Are you playing a dangerous game with the future of America's citrus? It begins when you move a citrus plant. You could be spreading a disease that can kill our citrus. Move a citrus plant, and you could be helping citrus disease to take its toll. On its own, the disease can't move very far. It needs help to do real damage. In a car, an infected plant can travel hundreds of miles and kill acres of citrus trees. Move a citrus plant, and it could be game over for our citrus. Now it's your turn. Help protect America's citrus. Don't risk citrus. Don't move citrus. Learn more at saveourcitrus.org. A message from the USDA.
In the mountains of Central Africa, a gorilla will spend days searching for food and fresh water. Sadly, hundreds of people from local villages are doing the same thing. The Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund International is dedicated to saving gorillas and helping people by implementing education and health programs, by providing solutions for clean water and proper nutrition, by offering access to better sanitation. Improving the lives of people in Central Africa can help save gorillas and preserve an entire ecosystem. We've made progress, but there's more work to do, so we're asking for your help. The lives of human beings and gorillas are undeniably linked. We share 98% of our DNA. Certainly we can find better ways to share this planet that we call home. Join the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund International and help save a species. Go to gorillafund.org.
Hi, and welcome back to Discover Meditation. I'm your host, Alex Schubert. And for those of you who were with us at the beginning before the break, I hope you've had a chance to get into a good position for our longer meditation. Again, if you're just joining us, we're about to proceed with what is called a body scan. And a body scan is very much like it sounds. We're going to focus on the body. And it sounds like something that's kind of obvious, but when you think about it, we don't spend that much time focusing on our bodies. And we tend not to notice them until they provide us with aches and pains or some sort of thing like that where we suddenly start to notice it. We might notice that we don't bend so well when we try to move into a position we're not used to, or things like that. The neat thing is, if we get used to scanning our body, becoming aware of our body, we can start to notice things when they are not doing so well. We might start to notice we're coming down with a cold before we get obvious signs. We might notice that we are straining just a little too much when we're lifting something or bending in a certain way, and stop ourselves from actually injuring us. So there are all sorts of good reasons to be involved in a body scan. One of the other more straightforward things is this is actually a very relaxing practice. So you may actually find yourself drowsy or may actually fall asleep. So I do recommend that if you are practicing this with me, that you are in a place, in a position that if you do drift off to sleep, if you start to get drowsy, you won't injure yourself in any way. Also, if you find throughout the practice at any point that you start to feel distress, if you start to feel anxious, you're welcome to stop the practice, to move on to your breath. But if you feel that you can get through that little bit of discomfort, there is benefit to working through that, to acknowledging it, to being with it. But just taking care of yourself. This is a practice of compassion. This is not a gym routine where you need to push through the pain. This is not a pain and gain kind of deal. So this is all about taking care of yourself, whatever that might mean. So to begin the body scan, lie down, if comfortable, on your backs, on a mat or a thick rug or on your bed. Allow your eyes to close if you feel comfortable. Letting the arms lie alongside your body, palms open toward the ceiling, and allowing the feet to fall away from each other. In doing this kind of practice, it's important to remember not to try too hard to relax. Doing so will only create more tension. And what we will be doing is developing an awareness of each passing moment and just accepting whatever is happening in yourself, looking at it clearly, seeing it as it is, because it's already here. It's part of your experience in the moment, for better or for worse. Keep in mind that there's no right or wrong way to feel while you're doing this practice, but rather see if you can just accept how you're feeling, giving yourself permission to feel whatever you are feeling, just noticing whatever it is. And this body scan is going to be a shortened version. The full-length version runs around 50 minutes, but we're obviously going to keep this much shorter to about 6 or 7 minutes. So start by slowly bringing your attention to the fact that you are breathing, not manipulating your breath in any way, but simply experiencing it as the air moves in and out of your body. Feeling the sensations in your lungs and abdomen. As the breath comes into your body and out of your body. And on each out-breath, just letting go. Letting your body become heavy as it sinks a little bit deeper into the floor, into your mat, whatever is supporting the weight of your body. Now, when you feel ready to, shift the focus of your attention to the toes of your right foot. Just becoming aware of whatever feelings are in this region. There may be sensations of tingling, itching, warmth or coolness, or there may be no particular sensations at all. Just feeling your toes as they are. Just experiencing whatever there is to experience. Experiencing the big toe, the little toe, and the toes in between. Not moving them, but rather just feeling them individually. And on an in-breath, just imagine the breath moving down through the lungs, through the belly, down the right leg, all the way to your toes. And as you breathe out, visualize the breath just moving back up from your toes and ultimately out your nose. Allowing your entire body to be filled with the breath. And when you're ready on the out-breath, letting go of your toes completely, allowing the focus on this region of your body to just dissolve in your attention. Moving your attention to the whole of your foot, the top, the heel, the bottom. Notice wherever it may be resting. Again, noticing whatever sensations there are. Not judging anything, not changing anything. Breathing into that area with the in-breath. And out. Now with the in-breath, just allowing that area to dissolve from your attention. Moving your attention to your calves, your shin, all of your lower leg. Again, just becoming aware of what's there. Breathing down into the calf, the shin. And now, with the out breath, letting go of the entirety of your lower leg. Bringing your awareness to your upper leg, your thigh, your knee. Becoming aware of any sensations you may be experiencing. Just accepting whatever it is you feel. Allowing yourself to relax and sink even deeper into the mat or floor. And now letting that area dissolve from your attention with the out-breath. Moving your attention to your right foot. Your leg, your knee, your thigh. Bringing the whole area into your attention. Just registering any sensations that are there. Not worrying about what they should feel like, but allowing them to be exactly as you're experiencing it. With the out-breath, letting your leg dissolve from your attention, moving your attention to the back, lower and upper. Again, noticing anything there is to notice, allowing that area to relax. Breathing out any tension or stress. Bringing your attention to your abdomen, your chest. Moving your awareness to your arms, your hands, your fingers. Becoming aware of any warmth, heaviness, lightness. Allowing it to all be as it is. And bringing your attention to the whole of your body. Breathing in and following the breath from your head to your toes. Allowing it all to relax, to just be. And now as we end this short body scan, bringing your attention back to the world around you, wherever you may be. Slowly moving if you find yourself drowsy, not getting up quickly. Allowing yourself to hold on to any relaxation or contentment you've cultivated. Carrying that with you throughout your day. Remembering you can return to this state whenever you wish. And that is the end of our body scan. And again, that was a very, very short version of what is a much longer process. And again, that was adapted from Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. And you can find more in-depth body scan both on the internet and through his book, Full Catastrophe Living. And there are many other versions available. So I want to thank you for spending this time with me today, and I hope to see you again for future shows as we explore more meditations and more mindfulness and bringing more peace and compassion into our lives. Thank you for joining me, and take care of yourself.